Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again with another Lost City of Un'Goro card review, and we have the final Paladin cards, including a legendary that can give you infinite buffs. Literally, as long as it's on the board, you can keep buffing and buffing and buffing, and it's kind of terrifying. So we're going to review a bunch of spell-driven cards this time around, which we haven't seen enough with in Drunk Paladin, of course. If you want to win these cards, we're giving away 2 regular pre-orders, 2 mega bundles out of my pocket. To enter that giveaway, like and comment in the video. Link down description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get until all the cards are revealed, which is next week, I want another mega bundle, so hit that sub button, make me go broke, and we're getting really freaking close to that next 1K. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And when we hit that, we're 1K away from 100 brand cosplay, all that craziness. I can't believe it might actually happen. Anyways, let's look at these Paladin cards, starting off with the Creature of the Sacred Cave. What an ominous name. 4 mana, 2/5 beast. At the end of your turn, recast a random holy spell you cast this turn. So very similar like Archmage Vargoth, but for holy spells. Targets this if possible. So the idea is I want to play buff spells because I want to buff this up. Maybe I played a Hand of Adal, right? And then I have Creature of the Sacred Cave out there, and we'll get a Hand of Adal on it. So this will be a 3/6, or sorry, a 4/6, and it'll draw me a card. That's pretty nice. And maybe I go into Wild and play Garden's Grace and get an even bigger buff on my Creature of the Sacred Cave, which is pretty sweet. If you're playing something like, I don't know, Lay on Hands, I guess you would heal this up and draw another 3 cards. Like, that's the idea, but you really want buff cards. I guess Avenging Wrath, you wouldn't care because it can't target. It would still just go face. I don't believe that's in standard or anything, but if we're talking Wild, so not too bad. Get a bit of value. This could snowball because it's at the end of your turn, a constant effect. It's not a battle cry. So if this gets buffed and then survives a turn, you play another buff, and then you get to double dip on that buff. That could be really good. So it's got a pretty high health total to start, right? 5 health for 4 mana is typically, I guess you're looking at 5 and 6 typically, but that could be all right. And if you got spells to really buff up with it, that can be pretty darn solid. I don't think it makes the cut in like a Drunk Paladin style thing. I think you want some more worthwhile spells to throw on it. Maybe one that our legendary minion can give this. We'll see, but overall, yeah, it's a bit slow and clunky. You can't really just tempo this out and expect it to live. You definitely need to weave it in with other mana, so it can make things a bit awkward. Being 4 mana might slow it down a considerable amount. I'm not super sold on it. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 in standard. If it had 6 health like Vargoth, if it was at like exact Vargoth stats, maybe. But yeah, I'll give it 2 out of 5 in standard. A 1 in Wild, where I think it's atrociously slow for that format. But if this takes off, it will be very good because, again, the snowball effect of getting those buffs basically guaranteed on this minion can be pretty huge. I just don't really see it. Maybe if Spike Ridge Steed was a holy spell, because it is in the core set, but again, that's 5 mana, and then you got to weave this in there. That could be pretty darn difficult. Also, really cool signature that it will have. Hopefully it doesn't cost, $8,000 to get. Next, we do have another Murloc. We have another Murloc that could go in the quest we talked about earlier today, but it's more spell-based. It is the Violet Treasure Gill. It is a 2 mana, 1/2 Murloc, so not phenomenal. With Battle Cry, cast a random spell from your deck that costs 2 or less, targets this if possible. So again, very specific style of spell I want to get. Hand of Adal comes to mind, even the recently nerfed Divine Brew. Maybe just get that drink going, right? It'll go added to your hand. This will have Divine Shield. But yeah, you're looking at relatively cheap buffs. I don't believe this will work with the prior card either because you have to cast the spell, but this Murloc will be casting it, so it won't work, I believe, with that 4 mana beast. I should be right on that. But overall, it's a bit of mana cheat. It can be a targeted buff. This helps thin your deck. There's a lot of good stuff. Like, I just think about Wild, just cheating out Christology is super nice. Or cheating out in standard the 1 mana spell that draws a spell that did start in your deck. Like, even though it doesn't target this, that doesn't even matter a lot of times. If you're drawing cards for this, it's like a better Novice Engineer, a significantly better Novice Engineer, depending on the card type. So, pretty solid. And it's a Murloc, right? So our Murloc decks are probably going to want to run some spells too that are relatively cheap, help you cycle. That's really good. I'm going to give this a 3. I'll give this a 3 out of 5 in standard. In wild, I'll give it a 3 too, because cheating cards is good. This is another tutor, possibly just to cycle through our deck in a deck like a Libram Paladin or things like that, where only cheap spells I play are either Librams or draw cards. Why not? That seems good. So this absolutely could have wild play outside of Murloc decks, let alone inside of Murloc decks. So yeah, really solid card overall. Tutor and all that stuff is pretty darn nuts, right? Like, that is pretty crazy. And speaking of a spell we could possibly cheat out, although I don't know if you'd really want to, is the Story of Galvadon, the 2-mana non-tribal or non-spell school, spell of give a minion 3 random bonus effects. So basically, you're really going to want to hit Wind Fury. This is a way to give any minion possibly Wind Fury. That's the best one probably to get. There's also like Poisonous and Lifesteal that can have some pretty big impact against Divine Shield. Like, there's some pretty good stuff to hit when you're getting 3 of them. I think there's 8 or 9. I don't remember how many bonus effects there are. There's quite a few. You're not guaranteed to get one. And you don't even have like a 50% chance unless it already has one of those bonus effects on it, because you can't get like Divine Shield again. You can't get Rush if it can already attack. There are some out there. Can't get Taunt twice, things like that. So yeah, this could be a really high rolly solid card where I play this and I get Wind Fury and kill my opponent. We know how good a 2-mana Wind Fury could be in Paladin with Shrimpscavate back in the day. You didn't even care about the Excavate, just give me that Wind Fury. I don't know how consistent this will be, but I feel like if you can jam this enough and hit Wind Fury or something positive enough on like these kind of boards with, like, you know, you're buffing and then you throw this onto one of those things and it actually kills, that could be almost like a finisher style type of card. I feel like it won't be consistent enough, but I'm going to say 3 out of 5. It sees a bit of play in standard. In wild, I think it's a 1 because it'll be too slow. You're going to be wanting just massive board buffs and really early minions, and you got like charge Murlocs and other cards like that. So you can just slap this on a Leroy, get Wind Fury. You never know, but that's, again, too expensive for wild. I'll give it a 2 in wild. It might have a shot, but it's definitely much more of a fringe card. And hey, we got another holy spell, which might be good on that beast we looked at earlier, the Thresh Riders, a blessing, a 5-mana holy spell. Give a friendly minion +4/+4 and Death Rattle, summon a random 4-cost minion. So you're getting +4/+4, which is Blessing of Kings, for 1 more mana, and then you also get a 4-cost minion. That's not bad, but relatively expensive and, you know, not exactly consistent on getting a good 4-drop. I just feel like these type of buffs that have given like a Death Rattle summon something haven't been good enough in like a while. We need the 1-mana DK spell to make that work. And even that was like, you know, not amazing until like StarCraft came along. It wasn't even about summoning. It was about getting stats. It could be good with that beast. Obviously, we looked at earlier, could target again, but it's 5 mana and it's just not good enough, I don't think. And yeah, it's, you know, it can't be 4 because it'd be straight power creep on Blessing of Kings. They would never do that. This seems like a menace in the arena. Absolutely. But I'm not entirely sold on this being a standard constructed card. So again, I'll give it a 2 in standard, a 1 in wild, but probably a card I want to draft in arena. Any minion on the board is going to be super freaking annoying to deal with it. So I guess you can almost compare it to like Spikeridge Steed again, right? Except that gave taunt, 2 levels of taunt. Would I prefer that? I don't know. That doesn't even see play. It doesn't have the holy spell on it, holy tag on it, but it just kind of puts things into perspective, right? Like why I'm not super convinced on it. However, here is the legendary that can go infinite, the Ido of the Thresh Fleet. Is it Ido? I don't know. Hey, that kind of works. It's a 4-mana 2/7. While this is alive, you get a 2-cost holy spell that gives a minion +2/+2 and Divine Shield. It is that spell there, Call the Thresh Fleet, and it does, yeah, exactly that. And basically, this will be in your hand always until this minion dies or I guess gets silenced. You can constantly give any minion on the board +2/+2 and Divine Shield over and over and over. I don't know if Drug Paladin, it's probably too slow for that where you get those giants out, but it does work with like Flickering Light Bot and a Sea Shanty, throwing that out there. But this is a 7 health minion, pretty darn annoying to remove, which you can then buff up, give it Divine Shield, buff up, right? That's really darn solid. And then, yeah, you could play that other beast and maybe have it snowball a little bit that way. But I feel like this, compared to the epic, is just amazing, right? Like, it's hard to kill a 7 health card even on 4, and then again it could just snowball out of control. You're playing a minion heavy dense deck on the board, you get this out there, you start buffing things up, it gets out of control. That could be really darn nice. And again, no limit to it. They need a radiant elemental type. Like, they nerfed all those cards, a Sork, a radiant element. They need even more mana cheat to make this work. I don't think there's anything out there I could think of that would really work great with that. Overall, this has potential. Like, again, it's kind of greedy, it's a bit on the slower end. The fact it gives that divine shield is so powerful with the stats alongside of it. Be very curious to see if this can see play, but I'm not going to sleep on it. I'm getting this again. I've given a lot of 3s, but I feel like all these cards have a shot, but I'm not blown away by any of them. So again, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 in standard, a 2 out of 5 in wild, where it is definitely too slow in that format, but really cool card and a unique mechanic we haven't really seen too much of, where, yeah, a card constantly in your hand because a minion is alive. I don't know if we really had that, probably, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know we had like Sister Svalna or whatever, it would add the holy permanent shadow spell to your hand, but it didn't matter if she died or not. Anyways, let me know what you think about the Paladin cards. That's it for now. Next will be DK. I think there's a review late again tonight. Not entirely sure. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll review some Deathlight cards, and y'all know I love me some DK and hoping for some pretty cool cards. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.